Hello, soul traveler. Welcome to Cracking Open Reflections on Spiritual Growth in Life's Cycles. I'm Teresa Stone of Lightworker Navigation, mistress of the Whispering Word, sacred scribe, and intuitive guide. Firstly, let me say this. What you're about to hear is in no way meant to belittle, negate, or compete with the hundreds and thousands of others going through something similar or worse. I know things in my life could be tougher, and I humbly honor everyone's struggles, challenges, and traumas. We are all walking this journey of life with its cycles of ups and downs, and I am no stranger to them. Secondly, it doesn't matter what gender, religion, ethnicity, or orientation you are. Human life is filled with trials and triumphs. We are all experiencing cycles, ones we prefer and ones we'd rather avoid. Life is not easy, no matter who you are. Sure, we could argue that those with power or wealth have it easier, and maybe they do. But at the end of the day, we don't really know what anyone else has endured to get where they are. I don't usually share the ins and outs of my life too deeply. I do my best to look at the glass half full and trust that even the toughest experiences are happening for a reason. But when I do share openly, I've noticed people sometimes pull away. From what I can tell, there are a few reasons for this. Number one, they want to be around positive people so they don't attract negativity. Two, they don't want to be reminded of their own struggles. Number three, they aren't in a position to help, so it feels uncomfortable for them. Number four, they begin to pity and see a person as less than, naturally weeding them out of their life. So if my share pushes you away, please know this is not my intention. On the contrary, I share in hopes of helping someone else who may be going through something similar or even worse. And maybe, just maybe, it helps them move through it with a little more ease and grace. Lately, as I reflect on my spiritual journey and the skills I've been cultivating, it feels like the more I focus on growth, the more visible life's challenges become. And some of this is because of the awareness that we become in tuned with. And now I'm talking about the challenges like finding and keeping steady work, creating safe and supportive relationships, securing a place to live, cultivating trust in the process of life. Now, if you're someone who's already got life figured out and none of this resonates with you, congratulations. And also, what's your secret? But if you're someone like me, someone who knows adversity well and wonders why it keeps showing up, I feel you. You are not alone. I understand that life cycles between good and not so good, and that the good moments are precious, precisely because they're fleeting. But let's be real. It's not always easy to embrace the good times when the fears creep in. Fears like, how will I support myself and my family? How will I find safety at work and within my relationships? How will I care for my health? How will I care for the health of my family? What if I have nowhere to live? And on and on and on and on. At times, it seems like the more spiritually open I become, the more I encounter pain, suffering, despair, and brokenness. And yet, somehow I'm able to also see those challenges as gifts, gifts of growth and love, nudging me along my soul's path of purpose. Maybe that's exactly what this whole journey is really about for us. Still, I've noticed this. The more I do my best to listen and follow my soul's guidance, asking, how and where can I be most of service? The further away things like financial stability, health security, and the ability to help others seems to drift away. And honestly, it makes me wonder, am I moving in the wrong direction? Did I misinterpret the messages from my soul? Maybe our interactions with people are simply fleeting opportunities the universe offers us. Little tests to see how we'll respond. When we respond with love, respect, and kindness, maybe the universe says, okay, you're ready for the next step, and new doors open. But when we respond with frustration, anger, blame, etc., maybe the universe says, all right, they're still working through that lesson. Let's send more of it until they learn. After years of interactions, sharing wisdom, receiving wisdom, simply living, I've realized this. Many people aren't interested in doing the work. Some are, yes, but a lot are searching for a quick fix, a golden solution, a way to escape the pain and find bliss. I get it. I've been there too. But that search often drives people outside themselves, sometimes into the hands of those who don't come from a place of love or authenticity. And that can leave people hurt, vulnerable, and disillusioned. Stepping into the role of intuitive guide and soul coach was a big move for me, not only because it meant actually stepping in to help others, but because it required me to face up to my own work, uncovering vulnerability, pain, sorrow, growth, all coexisting while I held space for others' fears, hurts, pains, and broken dreams. Yet, through it all, I've gained a deeper compassion, gratitude, and perspective for all things. I ask myself, how can someone who's not immune to the cycles really help others create real, lasting shifts and transformations? Especially when so many just want a springboard to bypass the hard parts. If you find the answer, I'd love for you to share. Because here's what I've found. No one has the golden answer. Even with all the modalities out there, energy healing, coaching, support tools, perspective work, shadow work, co-creation mindset, etc. The list goes on. None of them erase the cycles of life, the natural rhythm and flow of the universe. They do hold a common thread, which circles down to compassion, but how this is brought forward differs. And despite over 20 years of doing my work, choosing love, unraveling fear, setting intentions, aligning with the universe, I've still found myself in a place I hoped to avoid. Debt is overwhelming. Stability feels far away. Support for health and family is scarce. And for over a decade, anytime I dared open up about this, I was met with phrases like, "This too shall pass. Hang in there. Stay strong. It can only go up from here. Things will get better. Think positively so you don't attract negativity. Maybe you've heard these too. And I know these words come from love, but sometimes they feel dismissive of real pain. They bypass the depth of what's actually being experienced. And one of the unkindest things that was told to me was this: if you're so spiritual, why don't you just manifest a better life? It was said with such derision, as if spiritual connection should somehow make a person immune to the hardships of life. But the truth is, no one is immune to life's rhythm. What we need is not platitudes. What we need is tangible support, secure housing, sustainable food, accessible healthcare, meaningful work, real community. Health and being healthy shouldn't just be for the wealthy. I know this may sound idealistic. I know I do not have all the answers to these challenges. These are just my lived insights, my hopes that one day, as a collective, we move toward supporting one another in real, practical ways. With all this said, I do, however, remain grateful. Grateful for the abundance I do have, for my family, my friends, for the support that comes out of nowhere. Grateful for the small spark of hope that still pushes me forward. The fears I've unraveled, the insights I've gained, the strength I've developed, the love I've cultivated, they've all shaped my beautifully eventful, rich, and abundant life. So even here, with doors shut and unanswered questions, I choose to keep showing up. I choose to take responsibility for the choices I make and have made. I choose compassion for myself and for others. I surrender to this moment, even when I wish it was different. And I trust deeply that everything is unfolding the way it needs to. So if you're currently walking through your own unpreferred cycle, I hope you feel less alone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Know that your choices, your experiences, your spark, it all matters in the grander scheme of things. With love and so much gratitude. Teresa Stone. Thank you.